Man, oh man. Let me warn you guys in advance, this is going to be a graphic video. So, I had a conversation in my Discord, how I basically came to the conclusion that zombie movies, that zombies are basically just an exaggerated version of what the modern human is bred to become. Because in movies, zombies are basically dead people walking, right? They're brainless, and they're mindless, right? And the only thing they know how to do is cause destruction. And I did a couple videos on people that have mental impairities, and in the Discord discussion, I basically came to the conclusion that zombies in movies are just an exaggerated form of the Generation Zombie, the Generation Z. And what do I mean by that? Some scientists have predicted that anywhere from 35 to 50% of future children will be born with a mental impairity. Well, that number is probably accurate to the times we live in right now. And who's usually the people that are mowing down zombies in the movies? It's usually police officers and military people. Now, in the academy, we are trained and taught on how to deal with mentally impaired people on a basic level, and they had an optional course after the academy called crisis intervention, where you can get specialized training on dealing with people that have mental impairities. But almost no officer took that course because it was voluntary, and unless you were a member of the boom squad or the SWAT team, it wasn't a mandatory course. Now, why am I giving this intro? I mentioned autism in the academy, and everybody gave me a strange look, as if they've never heard of what that impairity was. Now, I'm not making this video to make fun of people that have mental impairities, nor am I making this video to make fun of the guy in the video. But you guys have got to understand what's going on in modern society. Rather police know it or not, they're being trained to instinctively see people that have mental impairities that don't fully comprehend the orders that they're given. They're trained to see these people as active threats, active resistance, and they're trained to crush all resistance with immediate and brutal force. This seems like it's not really that big of a deal, but I've come to the conclusion that police, and they don't even know it, they're being trained to be zombie slayers, you could say, because take a look at what happens in this video. Now, let me start off by saying that this guy didn't do himself any favors by resisting, but you can tell he had a hard time comprehending what's really going on. So let's watch the video.
See your hands. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. These your hands out of your pockets. Turn up your chains quite a bit.
Excuse me.
You're being detained, bud. Don't take it back.
What's going on here is what psychologists call the autistic meltdown. When they're confronted with a situation that they've never dealt with before, and they really don't know how to deal with it, they go into what you call autistic meltdown. So this guy, and what that basically means is they just shut down, right? They become non-responsive. They don't really know what's going on. They don't really know how to deal with the situation. So they just freeze, right? Now to the deputy, who again is a trained zombie slayer, he sees Mr. Generation Zombie. This guy looks like he's about 20 years old. Oh shit, the zombie's resisting. Let's take him to the ground. And you're going to hear the deputy threaten the guy, comply with the lawful orders before you end up on the ground. And again, he is resisting, but I don't know if this guy is officially diagnosed with autism, but you can tell he has something just looking at how he's freezing and melting down. And you can tell probably nobody in his entire life told him the truth, that when cops approach you and they give you an order, it's comply or die. You know, yeah, Google and Wikipedia says all this bullshit about constitutions and individual rights. This is why you people got to get off the internet and actually go outside. If cops give you an order, this is the world we live in, right? Your constitution doesn't matter. We live in a zombie slaying police state. Now, this guy ends up suing, and yes, he wins money, but just look at the video. This guy is going to have permanent damage to his body that he's never going to be able to recover from. When police approach you and they tell you to do something, you're going to comply, either voluntarily or involuntary. And if you're like this poor individual and you have autism or something that makes you melt down or become confused when you're given an order, it's going to be bad.
Take your backpack off.
Excuse me, what am I doing?
Take your backpack off.
Can you explain what this is
Before
for?
you go on the ground, take your backpack off.
I'm going to get picked up for work.
Come on. Since we want to play this game.
Sir.
Again, look at the eyes, look at how he's reacting. The cop is going to be trained to think this guy is resistant, to think this guy is on drugs. I've even had some people comment on my videos, Chris, I don't think these people have mental impairments. They might just be trolling. They might be on drugs. They might be high. No, look at the eyes, right? Those are the autistic eyes, okay? Again, I'm not making fun of the guy, but you can clearly tell this guy has autism and he's going through an autistic meltdown. Unfortunately, when you do that in front of a sheriff's deputy or any law enforcement officer, if that officer has no sympathy, empathy, or compassion, or they really don't understand what's going on, they're going to go into zombie slayer mode and they're going to see you as the zombie.
Put your hands behind your back.
This is my phone.
Put it down.
Can you tell me what's going on?
Just put your hands behind your back before you end up on the ground.
I'm trying to drop my phone. Hello? Are you going to tell me what this is about?
You're being detained for a minute. You're matching the description of someone trying to break into people's cars.
I'm not breaking.
And at this point, this was the biggest mistake he's ever made in his life.
Anyone's car.
And again, notice how the other deputy is already immediately in zombie slayer mode. The guy, I'm surprised this guy didn't die, because in the WWE, when they do wrestling moves like this, I mean, this dude just Brock Lesnar, an autistic guy. But a wrestling ring, it's not soft, it's actually made out of wood, but at least if you get slammed on it, you don't have that high of a chance of dying. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get injured. Wrestlers get injured all the time. But this dude just fucking suplexed a guy on his fucking head on a concrete fucking road. This is deadly force, right? This is lethal force. In a police academy, they teach you not to use deadly force on somebody that's not using deadly force back at you. I mean, an autistic guy who's resisting because he doesn't really understand what's going on, that doesn't justify the use of deadly force. Now, I think a year later, this deputy got fired, but initially he was cleared of any wrongdoing. But when this video made it to YouTube, he got fired. And yeah, the autistic guy got some money from it. But this is what I'm trying to tell you guys, right? You got these stupid lawyers on the internet talking about you're allowed to legally resist an unlawful arrest. Do that retarded shit and this is gonna happen to you. You're gonna get body slammed on your head, and yeah, if you survive, yeah, you'll get some money. But I mean, this guy says in another video, he's got permanent irreversible damage to his body. Now, the rest of the video is just the cops, you know, calling him stupid and saying how he shouldn't have resisted. You know, you guys can watch the rest of the video from here if you want. But the main reason I wanted to highlight this and cover this video, my follow-up video is going to be called Nobody Cares, right? For those of y'all that were following the Freeze drama, man, Freeze acted like he pretended that he cared about certain issues, and then when I pressed him on it, he admitted in the live debate that he doesn't care. And that's the reality. Nobody cares. Most people don't care. Most people will pretend like they give a shit, but the main reason cops feel so comfortable in doing this crap in the first place is because nobody actually cares. Yeah, if you read the comments, they'll get on the internet and say, oh yeah, but the reality is nobody's gonna band together and get the laws changed. Nobody's gonna really hold these officers accountable because nobody cares. That's the world we live in. Generation zombies versus the fucking police that think they're the zombie slayers. And nobody cares enough to truly, you know, make the situation better and get things changed. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Consider this a warm up to my next video. And yeah, I warned you guys it's graphic. Hopefully, you know, the right people understand where I'm going with this and why I make these types of videos. Those that get it, get it. Those that don't probably never will. Catch you on the next video.